Do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. I'm out here on the beach at Byron Bay at the moment, and I was doing a little bit of witnessing and sharing the gospel with the people here on the beach and up on the footpath over here, where I met someone who had a really interesting life story. In 2011, 14 years ago, his dad died. And then 3 years after that, his mum died. And they left him the inheritance of his house, of the family house. So he sold the inheritance, he sold the house, and he's for $250,000, and he's been living off it. Living off that money since then, up until now. He said that money has lasted him all the way up until this day, and he's only just run out of the money that he had, only now. When I asked him about life, where he had been, his satisfaction, he said that he'd been in Byron Bay the majority of the time, and he said his satisfaction, he still was not totally satisfied, and he was still mourning the death of his parents, and he still couldn't find peace and joy. Often we think about this verse in the context of people laying up for themselves treasures, like a life of breaking the commandments, and a life of sleeping with multiple partners, and a life of eating gluttonously, and a life of drinking alcohol, and a life of stealing money. We often think about these large-scale sins, but do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth could be talking about here, right here in Byron Bay. Talking about treasures being laid up here in Byron Bay, because we think that our location or the people or the environment or the vibe of this well-known hippie attraction, Byron Bay, might be the place where we lay our treasures up. And we think that will bring us happiness, but the Bible says don't do that, because it won't. But it says this in the following verse: but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Our connection to God will be ultimately fulfilled when we're in heaven. Right now, we do not have control over anything in this life, whether who lives or who dies, or where we stay, or what kind of life we live. But we do have the ability to control how close we are to God and how great our satisfaction is in this life with God. And so the point that the Bible is making is that we must lay up our treasures in heaven. Not in Byron Bay, not in our possessions, not in the people around us even. Although those things can be valuable in themselves, they must be connected to our Creator. We must live a life with purpose, because God is the same yesterday, He's the same today, and He's the same tomorrow. Moth or rust will not decay Him. He shall not be destroyed. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the first and the last. He's the beginning and the end. So let us lay up our treasures with God in heaven. The question is, will you lay up your treasures where moth or rust will not decay, nor will thieves break in and steal?